All right, Paulites. Well, look, I like you a lot better than a lot of other groups. Um, I think you have potential. Just not going to take it easy on your dude because it just seems ridiculous, the fandom. Okay, this is politics. You need to be a little more cynical. Okay, just because a guy turns you on to something and is more honest, I agree, he's more honest. You know, most politicians, if they go speak at a teachers' union, they change their speech around. You know, Paul would say the same thing. Great, I like that, but this is not enough for him to be my political mentor, just that one thing. And if he turned you on to stuff because he happened to be the right timing that you heard some of these things, and it was shocking to hear it from a politician, okay, but it's a step zero in a long series of steps. But here, I was thinking of putting it this way. Let's make some options. Oh my God, the cat has a lizard. Bad cat. Oh, now it's got the tail. Oh, shit, and then I broke my glasses. Damn. See, that all came from you being a mean cat. Always, why are cats so cruel? They're like, I'm cute. Oh, I'm going to kill something. On the other hand, they kill roaches and keep rats away. Funny relationship. I broke my glasses. Luckily, they're $2 glasses, but still. I needed them to read the screen. Damn, I like these ones too. You can't even tell there's a problem, huh? Except for that they look funny to begin with. I decided I like these kind. Not how they look, but it's a good shape. So, okay, so what I was thinking is an offer here. But, so here's the thing, you know, we're talking about like, you know, I want to pay for my roads. I don't want things for free. I pay taxes. So my use of the roads isn't for free. I'm in a group where I pay this flat rate and I get certain benefits. Some of them I don't appreciate. It's a big package deal. But, you know, let's just talk about the roads. I want to pay in my taxes and have roads all over the nation that I can go on. Am I not allowed to be in a partnership that big? Or you're like, well, you just don't want to force us. Don't force us. Okay. So let's see. How do we do this? First of all, you're going to have to face a couple things. Just because you go, oh, we stole the land from the Indians doesn't mean it's your land any more than you know. That's how every nation has been controlled so far. We stole the land. It was illegitimate. We could discuss if you're doing something about that, but just saying you own it, that ain't going to be, I mean, you only own it on the grounds that you got a deed from the government that really took it and owned it and controls it. So my deal is like, if you don't want to pay your taxes, I agree. How about this? How about you cannot throw people in jail for taxes just like any other debt? Okay, but you can stop letting them have the privileges that go along with that partnership that they were indebted to, right? If you stop paying your loan on your house, then you stop having your privileges to live in that house, yeah? Now there's a problem here. If you stop paying your taxes, right? You can't be on your land. Your land, you have a deed from the government. This is when you need to think about why the government's name's printed on all the money, why the deeds are registered with the government. Look at some history where there was ambiguity about what government was controlling some area, and you'll find there had to be more than one deed, including opening up a lot of room for fraudulent deeds, that kind of situation. It happened in California, for example. And Oakland. All that Oakland history is a period like that. And so we could just say, oh, you can't use the roads and blah, blah, blah. But our package deal includes protecting that land. It includes, you know, includes property tax. to maintain your claim of lease and claim of use and claim of an interest. This is how it is, man. So I'd be fine not putting you in jail, but if you don't want to pay taxes, boom, we have to kick you out to Canada or someplace. Right? I mean, what else? You can't tell me on your private principles that I can't have an organization this big. You say, well, I don't like that you call it government. Okay, how about if I call it a big giant LLC that owns all the property that it claims to control, and I'm one of the partners, and boom, everything could be the same, right? We could have everything we have the same. And you say, well, no, the aggression, there is, what are you talking about with your non-aggression? Private people don't have aggression principle. I can't have a bouncer at my club. Is that illegal according to you guys? You guys are against the aggression. Well, then they're on. Yeah, exactly. And that's the aggression the government gets to do too. The person is burglarizing. They can aggress. The person is this, that, or the other. Person won't pay their debt. They can get bounced. How could you complain about that deal? You understand? You understand? I want to assume everybody wants to pay their taxes. And the people that don't can go do something else. Really. That doesn't mean that I like where the taxes go. I don't like every way that Sony spends its money just because I buy a Sony TV. Do I? No. But that doesn't mean that it's not still an organization with this particular purpose. We're trying to get this run and do that. And that is to run our shared infrastructure in a way that we can share it. And I think you guys are just so narrow, and you don't look, you just didn't, like, in my teen years or 12, I'm going, Jesus Christ, look at this shoe. There's 100 different materials in it, and 100 different people had to work on it just to go on my one foot. I realized I was in the center of this incredibly huge cooperation. You guys just think like it's like you picked a fruit. And look, a shoe. I paid for it, it's mine. I don't use the roads in California. I live in Denver. How'd the shoe get to you, motherfucker? Think how shit really works. And Ein Paul is just wanting. He's somebody said, Dinah Katz maybe, that he's an anti-federalist more than anything else, and that's what I see. It's like, I don't want to bother. He get rid of the Department of Education. He's not going to want to see a national education. Someone like me, if it's like, oh, they got rid of it, now we're in a privatopia, everybody voted that way, okay, I'd get in an organization, try to make sure we still had a national education system. I don't think he would. He might start a little school in his town, but I think he's just kind of like, let me be in my little broke off thing. Kind of guy doesn't realize where shoes come from. Right? I have the right to be in a cooperative venture, a limited partnership with 300 million people if I want to. Now, the legitimacy of how we, this organization, we started, took control and ownership of the land that it took control of, that it claims it's the United States. Yeah, that's interesting history. I talk about that. There's the issues of how to take that into account, how to somehow move forward with that, reparations, or just some sort of, in my case, I think the knowledge of our history can direct our investments. We don't really need reparations, but some of those things might seem like reparations, right? Like, let's say I have an artsy-fartsy idea that we should send a Statue of Liberty, or, we're not using it, our Statue of Liberty, send it over to the Philippines, good gesture. That might be frivolous, but I could be in an organization that might decide to do something like that, right? Is that reparations? Oh, it's just good, no, the Philippines is starting to have a great economy, supposedly, finally, with difficulties. We should get invested over there. They're the only one, some of the few people that don't hate us. Let's take advantage of that before the kids start learning history. It's an investment. People don't, it's like, okay, Christie says what? He needs $1 billion dollars to repair New Jersey. That's more money than their whole budget. Of course, it would take more than years. So this is the kind of thing, if they were just their own nation, I could set them back 50, 100 years, at least 20, even if they're really wealthy and the reinvestment happen right away. But in the case of New Jersey, this has set them back. They don't have the money to reinvest to build because they're going to have trouble because of all the lack of revenue from all the destroyed businesses to even keep other things going. I like being in a union big enough where the rest of the country could go, yeah, we'll go rebuild that. Okay, is that charity? No, it's an investment. It looks like charity. It looks like altruism in a short period. But really, instead of waiting 50 years for New Jersey to come back and be generating revenue and sending it into the partnership, we'll get them up and running quicker. It'll be better for them. In the short term, workers from the rest of the country, and they're getting paid because they're being paid to do this repair work. And then when there's an earthquake in California in 20 years, New Jersey will be in a position to go ahead and help there. You see, this is how some of us believe it could be done. Now, I'm sympathetic. You don't believe that works. You don't believe people can help each other out on those kinds of scales. But you can't say that I don't get to try that. You say, well, let the market decide. The market did decide. The market decided that things like, water and electricity, basic infrastructure, need to be co-managed, not just on how much money they're making at a point, or whether that kid that inherited the business likes it, or how maybe he wants to turn it into a different kind of business to do something else. It's like, no, we want to keep having our phone, electricity, and like commodities or a goods infrastructure. Certain things we want to keep flowing. Other things, it's like, oh, well, whatever. Hey, a new gadget, a phone, well, whatever. And then we realize, wow, this can save lives. This is important. Now we're using this. It needs to be a part of our infrastructure, and things move on. Some of us want to do it that way. You don't see the picture that way. Fine. I say we've got this territory, United States, and you need to go find some place, some government. And you could take $100 million and pay the Congo to cut off a piece and give it to you. That's your problem. But you're getting mixed up here because you want to act like you have a right for U.S. to be run a certain way. And there's nothing in your own property-based value system that could possibly suggest that to you. This property was taken by the U.S. military and has been administered by it. Boom. End of story. There you have no claim that, but that's wrong, and things we have. No, remember property rights. Do you have that property? No. You are a subletter. You have to take the deal or leave. That's your argument. I believe that, except for that's why I like that we're doing it in a government organization, because we also have the right to change that government. I don't have the right to change or vote in what Coca-Cola does or Mr. Private Road Company. But when I see I don't like the way things are being run, if I can find some common ground with my other citizens, say 100 million of them or so, we could do something about it. That's an extra thing in a partnership with these extra rules where it's answerable. I don't see how it's different than a private organization that has this thing where in its bylaws it has to be more answerable to me. Not as a customer, but because the customers are the partners to be in, it's like to be in the gated community, you have to buy property in there. You own, and then you own a piece of the, what do they call those community organizations? And this one just has more thorough rights, right? There's more bylaws. You could easily, in a private organization, write just as many. Just tend not to, and I like that. I think to make a partnership of 300 million people work, you need to have some security like that. And because there's going to be abuse of property, any big accretion of property is going to be liable to some sort of abuse. It's important that we have these special kinds of bylaws. And you want to look at it as private or public, doesn't matter to me. Just look at the reality, how it works, do some system analysis. And start shopping for land. I don't know. Southeast Asia, maybe Indonesia would give you guys an island. You buy it. Good luck. Or Texas.